Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Loving how you wind up for me. Tonight is all on me. Mash up the place for me. Yeah, yeah. She just wanna highlight. Ooh, wee, that body talk to me. I need a taste, baby. Loving the way you move around me. No more delay. No, you can wait to shut it down. Want you show me how you work it. I can't find no flaws, you perfect. Cause every time that you come around my way, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. And every time that you come across my mind, I keep falling again. I keep falling again.
Hey guys, welcome to the 5 F's to Love, Real Talk with the Ladies. You know, we're going to change the format tonight. We're going to change it to a more cohesive conversation. And I know you saw the title. You're probably thinking, what is this about this aggressive women and the mixed messages that we're sending to men about our body language? Well, that is something to talk about because I'm going to tell you a lot of times when I go out, and this is my work clothes, but I'm going to be honest with you, I am dressed pretty hot looking and I walk in like to my own theme music. I don't know what message that's sending, but I be thinking I'm hot like fire. So we're going to talk about that. So you already know who we got. We got Rhumel, which is North Carolina. Then we got Holly, Pennsylvania. You already know Dr. Mac is in the house. That's Chicago. And we got, I hate to say this, I love her, Baby Mac. She's in Chicago too. Look, she's like, do we have to keep saying Baby Mac? Well, listen, if you're watching Wednesday's podcast, you got to understand Galen McDowell, this is his daughter, which is Angel McDowell. That's why we call her Baby Mac. All right, so let me tell y'all, real talk, the person who came up with this topic is Dr. Mac. Dr. Mac, let's hit it because we're ready tonight, honey.
Listen, I am an advocate for women, but listen, I have to hold us accountable for some things. And the reason why I thought about this topic as it relates to female aggression and overt body language is we have to offer real loud, real life consent because sometimes we show up like we ready. Sometimes we show up like we with it. And then when we're advanced or when we're hit on, I didn't come here and I want us to tell the truth about how we should hang out. If we're socializing, if we're single, if we put that freakum dress on, shout out to Beyonce, and we step out in those stilettos and we're going out on the town, yeah, you can have some girls' nights, but you don't want to be hit on when you go there? Or are you irritated when men, say, nice dress, you look good in that?
Wait a minute, Dr. Mac, would you say that freakum? Did you say that freakum dress?
Because all of us got that dress where we like everything is where it goes. That dress.
You talking about the one where my breast is out? Is that the
one where my butt is right and my waist is snatched? That dress.
You better know it.
And I think what excited me, the Creed promo came out this week, and Michael B. Jordan and Jeremy, the co-star, had a thick, black, natural woman that was interviewing them. And as soon as she got up to walk away, both of them black men did like this. And they said, we didn't know, sis. We didn't know. I screamed because I love when we get that physical beauty validation. And I love when it's for, natural. She wasn't trying to get all of that. And I read a lot of the comments and people were like, oh my God, they're looking at her body and oh my. And I'm like, y'all, when do we cut it out? Like, when do we want them to be like ugly?
So your thing is, the conversation that you're scoping tonight is what we're wearing and what we want or say what we're wearing and our body language, is it really interpreting what we want in that moment, in that evening? So I guess the question to all of y'all, Dr. Mack, goes is, when y'all hitting the streets and y'all snatched and y'all sexy hot, are you really saying that you want to be sexy hot? And somebody shout out to me.
And can they look? Can they approach? Can they say that dress is? And can you say thank you, or are you offended?
So I don't need to start with Holly, because her mind is ticking. Rhumel, you a married woman. I need to know, when you out with your husband, you looking hot like fire. Is that okay if somebody do a shout out to you?
As long as, I mean, I think in respect to my husband, I don't want it to be like in front of him. You know what I mean? Or it has to be done in a way that's, I don't know, respectful of him. But if I'm not with my husband in that moment, I like a compliment. I like saying thank you. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I personally like it, you know.
Okay,
it's
that's
nice
interesting.
to feel good. It's nice.
All right, so what about you, Angel? We're young, so I know you know what's happening.
I expect those types of comments depending on the outfit that I'm wearing. And most of the time I don't mind saying thank you. But if it's like some creepy older guy that could be my granddad, and he's like, it's just inappropriate, like distasteful, disrespectful, I will be like, ew. But you know, if it's somebody like in my age range, I'll say thank you. It's not a big deal. I just feel like as long as it's tasteful.
Okay, what about you, Holly?
If you don't look, at least we got a problem, because I already know what I brought through the door. I'm just saying, like, you can say something, your girl can say something. If I have a date, feel free to say something, because I need him to know you see what I can pull. So I need for you to recognize what it is, because you can be replaced quickly.
All I gotta say is, Dr. Mack, I already knew how Holly was gonna act. Let's go keep
I
it
love it. But do we know women sometimes that they put that on, they come to the event, and they sit. And the minute a man, oh no, I don't want anything to drink, I don't want any, I didn't do. And then I sit and I say, honey, you
then what was your purpose?
You put the titties up there. I'm looking. Are you kidding me?
You spent like 2 hours. So, folks, listen. First, before we go to a quick commercial break, Gertrude, who's been with us since day one. Good evening, Gertrude. Thank you for joining the conversation. I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about those ladies who spend 2 hours getting ready. And to Dr. Mack's point, they walk through the door and sit down. What was the purpose? And why are you so unapproachable? We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. I can't wait to hear, because I'm just going to let y'all know I do talk about y'all ladies, but I also compliment you while you're sitting in that chair asking you, why are you not talking to somebody? We'll be right back.
My name is Christine Burkette, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, I don't know, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for downloading the 5Fs app.
Hey guys, we are back to Real Talk with the Ladies on the 5Fs to Love podcast network. So tonight we're having an open dialogue. You're probably thinking, where are those questions that we normally see? Listen, everyone who's looking at this in a different language, it'll be translated where you can just click the button if you're watching it. I apologize, but tonight we're just trying a different format. We want to have an open conversation. So listen, we would love to hear from you. So if you're watching, 1, be sure to like what you're seeing. 2, make sure you leave comments, because we want to hear from you. So basically, when we left this conversation, we were talking about ladies who spend a lot of time getting dressed to go out, to sit down. So the question is, what's going on with this going out to sit down? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I think a lot of times when I'm in spaces and I see women in general, there's the idea that being nice means you want to have sex with the person. And I don't know who trains us that way. Sometimes the previous man that you laughed with and you just were cool with advanced you. And you're like, well, now I have to be mean. And what are your thoughts on being too friendly? I think sometimes that may be the distracting part. And then you say, forget it. I'm not going to be as nice. And then sometimes other women judge the girl that's having a lot of fun with the cute dress on and assumes that since she's being friendly and accepting drinks because she looks good, that she must be planning to have sex that night. And literally, I think I'll put it on us for being the judgy ones when we see the fun girl that's kind of just enjoying herself with her cute dress on and her high heels and kind of hopping from the bar to the dance floor. She bumps into a guy from the bathroom. Is it us that make us feel like we should be meaner?
The ladies.
That's
so you
question.
know what? I'll be honest with you. I do feel judged personally when I go out, only because I'm the person who I can talk to anybody. And just because I talk to you doesn't mean that I want to be with you. I'm just a friendly person. I'm chit-chatting. And that's pretty much it. But I think a lot of times because a lot of women are not secure with working the room, or I'm sorry, they're working the room for a purpose. And if your purpose is to find a husband, because a lot of women don't know how to be friends with men outside of I'm having sex with you, then it gets confusing when they see you talking to several people and then you have your phone and you put numbers in your phone, because now at this point I'm a hoe because I'm collecting phone numbers, right? But I'm not. So is it anybody else? I mean, that's just my perspective. Ladies, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there are some times on nights that I go out that I don't want to be approached. It's just because I had a bad day and I just want to sit at the bar, order a drink, and get myself some dinner. I'm trying to wind down. But I think there's a friendly way of doing that. It doesn't necessarily have to be standoffish or rude. And I think that's where some people get it confused. Like, there's a nice way of rejecting somebody if you don't feel like being approached, as opposed to just being like, why you bothering me?
But
So
do
what
you
do you
think that women are the judges or men are the judges? When
it comes to being unapproachable?
No. So based on what Christine was saying, when you're the one that's having fun and you wore the dress so you could go out and you could enjoy yourself, are the
Oh, it goes
projections
both ways. It goes both. I think men and women are definitely judging, because I think if a man sees you, he will think that you're being flirty and you must want something. Maybe not necessarily approach you because you're talking to other people. He may have wanted to talk to you, but now that he sees you talk to other people, he's going to kind of distance himself because he feels like maybe you're a little too out there. But I also feel like women are very catty sometimes, especially if you look cute, because they can be like, oh, she thinks she cute. Yes, I do. I worked really hard on this.
You know it ain't. It take a lot of effort to make this magic happen. I'm only kidding. You know it don't.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so it feels like either way you could be judged. So you might as well go and do what makes you happy while you're outside. Yeah. But if you are single or you're looking, then you probably got to smile a little bit when you're out. Because when I talk to single women who have this, that's just how my face is. It's like, that's fine, but nobody really wants to walk up to that face. So what are you going to do about your face? How about take a drink, crack a smile?
But okay, so you just answered a question, I guess, that I have. But okay, before I go to that question, Angel, what's your thoughts about that? Like, as a young woman, you see somebody meeting and greeting people, do you judge them?
Me personally, I don't. But I do agree that I think men and women judge when they see a woman doing that. For women, it could stem from a jealousy standpoint. Like, you're mad that somebody else is confident and feeling themselves and confident enough to walk up to everybody and start a conversation or grab everybody else's attention. And I feel like, they're going to say thank you without giving off a get away from me attitude. You can't say thank you with a smile. You keep it pushing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, and I agree with that 100%. I don't understand why women are so defensive. Rhumel, you're a married lady. Are y'all talking about us in the streets when we talking to these men? I need to know, Rhumel.
I'm not. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a conversation with another person, and I don't even care about what the motive is. You know, if you are having a nice time and
Mhm.
you're talking with the person, whether it's so that you can get to know them or it's so you can get to know them, it's between you and that person, and and who cares? You know, I think we get so caught up in our own insecurities about what we think we are. You know, like if that person is confident enough to step to of somebody and put themselves out there, I think a lot of that judgment comes really from an insecurity about what we think we have the ability to do, you know?
I'm
It
glad you
just
said that. I
I
think it
am
does
too.
stem from that insecurity, and I think we judge each other based on our level of insecurity about ourselves.
Mhm.
And we make judgment calls. Gertrude, you know I got to put my glasses on. You did a whole darn thesis on me. She says, I understand the unapproachable move at functions because some people tend to make you feel like something wrong with you, wrong with your body. There was a time when I asked how much did the operation cost to have my hips and butt? What done? I looked and felt
Wow.
sexy that night. So they asked you how much did you pay to get your hips and your butt done? All right, Gertrude, we ain't never seen a picture of you. Gertrude, you need to put that in my DM. I need to see what the hips is looking like
So
in the street.
now, Gertrude, I want the picture too.
Right,
But
Gertrude, can you
I
put that in
think
my
that
DM?
yeah. So what's interesting is
She got the
um you can that is a compliment depending on who's
oh
saying
yeah,
it to you.
yeah.
And I want us to be clear and honest about what's appropriate from somebody you're attracted to and who is shooting their shot that you want versus somebody who you're like, get away from me. You're blocking the person that could find me. So Gertrude likes the guy, and this is a for instance situation, Gertrude. I feel like it's very disrespectful for somebody to comment on your body unwanted. Um, but if I'm flirting and we're drinking, if you are maybe a 55, 60-year-old man, you may say, girl, you built like a shit brick house. If I'm smiling, I heard the song. I want my measurements to be that way. If you're maybe 25, 26, your brick house reference may be BBL surgery. And you like, where you get your surgery to complement the fact that her body looks so good naturally that it
Mhm.
looks like she had work done. Now, if you don't like them, nothing I said matters. It's why you commenting on my body?
You're valid on that. And that's the one conversation I think ladies need to be clear on. When we get
Yeah.
dressed and we're looking amazing and the right guy compliments us, then we are like, this is what I came here for. All this effort, the eyelashes I didn't plug, I didn't got these all this write it up. Honey, let me tell you something. But let the wrong guy come up. That would be little Chico. Little Chico trying to make something happen. You like, can you move so that the real thing can come this way? You want to move him along, but the thing is, like Dr. Max said, and Holly said it too, there's got to be a nice way
Yeah.
to communicate to that person. But I want to say this, ladies, when you dress a certain way, regardless of who it is, expect to get, you didn't put a sign up and say, only if you meet these specs can you now look at me. That's not what's happening. Your outfit don't say that, okay? So my thing is, regardless whether the person meets my specs or not, a guy came up to me, and this is the honest goodness truth, and don't even laugh because I do this all the time. And don't be stealing my stuff, Holly, okay? This man came up to me. He was like, girl, he was like, if you gave me a chance. I said, honey, you got to be this tall to ride this ride.
Oh,
You know what he said? Can you get her a drink? Like, he said, I like that. Because I didn't tear him down, but I was just saying, you got to be this tall to ride this ride. He was like about this tall, looking me eye to eye. I wasn't disrespectful to him, but he kind of liked my little comeback. Now, mind you, he ended up being somebody who was in construction, who we still talk to this day. And he asked me to do IT support for his company because he was like, usually women tear into me. Because he is. He's a little man.
I wonder, can we take that? Like, I think that women, we sometimes use our privilege to crack little jokes and say little things that we can't take in reverse. Because if a nice guy comes up and says, "You're really pretty, can I buy you a drink?" and you accept the drink and you think that he's shooting his shot, but he's really just a guy that when he sees a woman, he's just trained to offer you a drink as well.
Yeah.
And then you think he's flirting and he says, "You know what? A woman is as fat as you is really not my type."
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now. I want to be clear.
Women cannot take that in reverse. Like, you know what? Honestly, I'm attracted to a woman with bigger breasts than you, but enjoy your drink.
You got to think, but the thing is, what you're saying, Dr. Mack, is true. You got to be able to take that. That's one of the things that I will honestly tell you. Anything anybody throws at me, I'm good. Because I don't think I'm everybody.
Right.
I think I'm the person that is, I'm that person's option. And I tell guys all the time, okay, you may not want all this candy, but this is what's about to happen though.
Yeah, I just want us to be mindful that you have a comedic way about you and you can take it. But the average woman, if you crack a short joke, that can come off as emasculating as hell. Just like if they crack a fat joke. You just gotta find a different way other than like body shame.
But also knowing Chris, like she probably gave a body language indication that was like, this is coming from a place of jest.
Good segue in the body language.
So that's the whole thing. Your body language has to indicate. You can't come off like boom. You got to bring it like, okay, listen.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. You got to come off that way. Okay, Gertrude. She said, I have always had it. The women on my father's side is built like that. Gertrude, me and Dr. Max said we need that DM picture. All right. I'm not going for this no more, Gertrude. You're like anonymous. Jay Black was going on. Real talk with the men's is supporting us. Very well said, Dr. Max. Women are fully conditioned to accept rejection. Let me tell you this. That's what I'm saying. They are not. And this is the one thing that I had a problem with. I really don't like going out with a group of women. And this is the reason why. They will sit there and say, are you kidding me? He's over there talking to that when he could have had all of this. He didn't want all of this. He wanted that. He wanted that. So just because y'all didn't put the same 2 hours in, you just ain't the 2 hours that he want. That's what I'm saying.
Or just ain't you. Because the girl that put 0 hours in can win if that's what he likes.
Right. But see, they want to critique and say, well, no, baby girl, you're not his type. And that's what women don't understand. He may be your type, but you may not be his type.
I want to tap into Holly's body language.
But Dr. Mack, what do we say to women to help condition them to understand just because you're attracted to that person don't mean that it's the same as reciprocated?
I think that there's another privilege that we feel like because we're the ownership of this here pocketbook, every man must want it. And it's like a lot of men.
What a pocketbook.
Oh, I'm being PC because I hate nicknaming a vagina anything other than that.
Okay, go with it.
Because we have what every other woman on the planet has, we seem to think that's our like Willy Wonka golden ticket because this man must not have any action. So why would he reject me? Honey, if this man has been having sex since he was 16, the last thing he worried about is you offering him that because he probably has options if he wants to make a call for just that. So unfortunately, sometimes single women step outside and think because you're appealing to the guys at the gym and maybe some of your exes used to be the same type of guy as him, that he's going to automatically want to do what with you. Because sometimes when we're looking at the woman that's getting the guy, instead of asking or assessing how she does it, we hate. And we try to tell ourselves, well, how can we pass up this? Ask yourself why they keep passing you up. What are you giving off? Do you come to the club or come to the bar and have to walk around 3-4 times to be seen? Some men can't stand that. And you've automatically eliminated yourself because you're auditioning. Did you come in and you sat down and you did like this with your phone? You came at the bar to be on social media?
That's a runway. Holly, I need to know, have you ever been rejected and how did you handle it?
She on the runway.
Huh?
She finna
Have you ever
tag
been
everybody.
rejected, and how did you handle it?
Girl, I heard the question. No.
Oh, that's what I need to know. So, Holly, you ain't never been rejected, huh?
No.
I love it.
Because I feed off of energy. So I'm already aware if this is going to work or not. Like if I am shooting my shot, I done checked the room. I caught you looking. I looked back and smiled, gave you a little nod. Like I know it's going to work.
That's a body language thing again.
But there you go. That's what I was saying. Like it goes two ways. Okay, Angel, you young girl out there, are you doing the same thing? Are you checking out that data? Are you getting that feedback?
I rarely ever shoot my shot first, like when I'm out. So
not even a little bit.
No.
You don't give a flirtatious glance?
Maybe like, sending signals maybe across the room, but I don't like
that counts. That counts.
Yeah, I guess that, yeah. I would say that.
Yeah, that's what Holly's saying. That you give a little, it's okay to come talk to me. Because I mean, it's always somebody in high school or after that maybe doesn't like, but I'm with Holly. I don't know anybody that projected it like that. I'm
okay.
Sure
when we get back, everybody, I want every lady to show their flirtatious face. I know how Rhumel got her husband in college, and I know how Dr. Matt got hers, but we need to see how y'all face was looking. And then basically, I'm going to tell y'all the story of how I got rejected. My first rejection built me into the Mecca I am today, which is I have to laugh myself. Funny. Be right back after this quick commercial break. Welcome back to Real Talk with the Ladies on the 5F's to Love Podcast Network. I'm going to tell you 100% what you look like when you're out dictates if a man approaches you. 100%. If you got this mean mug, like, stay away from me, they are going to stay away from you. If you got this thing where you're chatting it up with your girls and you're not focused on the room, she don't have the time. That's not what she's here for. So my thing is, ladies, I know you want to hang out with your girls when you go out, and I get that part. I don't roll with people. When I go out by myself as an individual. I just rolls out. Because my thing is, the purpose of going out is what? Anybody know what's our purpose when we go out? Isn't it to meet new people? What are we going out for? Is it to be seen in your outfit?
No, sometimes it's the event. Sometimes it's to go out with the people you're with. Like me and my girlfriends go out to just be with each other.
No, not you, Dr. Mac. I'm saying when you're going out to meet what's your purpose for going out? See, that's if you understand your why. I love that man who did it. If you understand your why for spending that 2 hours on this look, why'd you spend 2 hours on all of this and go buy a new outfit if you was just going out to have a mean mug and to chit chat with your girls and be on social media all night? What was that purpose? So I'm going to ask y'all a question, because Holly was saying she never got, rejected or whatever. I just want to be clear. I was rejected, but I turned it around to a win, though. That's how I became the beast I am today. So when I first approached him, because I thought he was checking me out, he was really checking out what I had on and not me. He thought what I had on was fly. And when he did like this, I took it as he was saying this to me. So I walked over and I said, "What's up?" And he was like, "Your outfit is nice." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, your outfit is nice." Then I was like, "I need you to pull that jacket back because I need to see what's happening underneath that jacket." Right? He was like, "I need you to pull your jacket back so I can see what's underneath your jacket." So to me, at the same time, I'm thinking we flirting. Guess what he said? He thought I was attractive, but he was accustomed to dating women who were slimmer. But he said, and this is what he said to me. He said, "You're attractive." He said, "But I date slim women." He said, "But I'm gonna be honest with you, you got you together, right?" But the thing is, the way he said it, it was very clear that I was gonna have to knock off about 15 pounds to get this to the level I wanted to. And realistically, I don't know if I would have been able to maintain that. So guess what I did? I just switched the conversation and I ended up making him my friend. You get what I'm saying? So ladies, sometimes the rejection is a rejection, but that don't mean forget that Negro man, right? How do y'all think that it's hard for us to understand when somebody doesn't find us attractive that we can have another type of relationship with them?
I think that's unrealistic if you actually were attracted to them. I think that's how women set themselves up. You're not going to wake up one day and not like him. What is he going to turn into, a burn victim? So women who put themselves in the friend zone.
You say a burn victim.
Because what's going to happen to them? If you know from the onset that that's somebody that you're attracted to and he's not attracted to you, what, you going to hang around till he date another woman and pretend to be her friend? That's a disaster.
Oh.
It has to be somebody you really are okay with just being their friend. And you have to ask yourself, will I be their friend when they fall in love and I'm invited to the wedding? Or will you just pretend the whole time? I say if you're physically and sexually attracted to someone that's not attracted to you, leave them alone.
Wow. Well, my whole world is upside down because I done switched everybody from lover to friend.
You might be blessed to switch the switch off, but I'm thinking, what can I carry? That's a lot to carry into a situation that is, maybe something a bit more serious. Like everybody I used to be with is my friend. It's like, wait.
Well, I know. I kind of think because we just met, it wasn't easy. It was an easy transfer. Like I just met him. I was good with it. But you're right. If you've already been intimate with that person, that's a hard transfer. You got to walk away. That's a walk away. That's the other question. Has anybody been able to, the person that thought you were attractive physically on that first glance and you had that hookup, and then after the hookup, they decide they don't want anything else? What's that about?
Angel.
You hear, huh?
I want to ask that question.
Ooh, Angel. That was Dr. Mac. Look, Angel, I'm right.
She's sitting back all quiet and cute. No.
I feel that would hurt your ego a little bit for sure. You probably are gonna be like, what did I do? Or what did I not do? Was it me? Was it somebody else? It's a dig to your ego.
And I brought that to her because younger girls think just like that. When it literally, you just not they type. And you're perfectly whole and together and dope. But maybe they only attracted to women that make them feel or look like women they were raised around. And maybe all the women that they were raised around, super thick, super chocolate. And you just like, well, there's no way I can be born thick and chocolate. So it's not a match.
There's things you just can't change.
And it doesn't mean change anything about you. It's just like, okay.
Okay, so Rhumel, what's up in the ladies squad? Because I know y'all married ladies and y'all got some single ladies mixed in with y'all married ladies. How y'all supporting that squad when y'all hit the streets? When they get the little looks and the little stares, are y'all supporting it? Or y'all like, don't be a hoe? Which one is it?
First, if my friends wanted to be out and hanging out and doing all the things, girl, swing from a chandelier. If that makes you happy, I'm going to be the first one to pop a bottle with you. You know what I mean? But I will say this. I was just, when you asked me that question, I was like, do I know single people anymore? I don't. Most of my friends are married too. And so, if we go out, we're going out as a group of married people. So,
It's a
it's a
different
little
vibe.
different for me.
I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. Our friends aren't all married, not even close, because we got married young. We're still really close friends with people in our organizations, and we're still really close friends with our college friends. And my friends are being very specific about, their timeline. They're not rushing it. So I actually go out with a very mixed group. I was the first one to get married, so I would be the only married one, and I would absolutely root for them. They know the truth about how hard marriage is, so I'm not rushing them. I want them to enjoy when we're out, and I'm also allowed to be a woman. I'm so much more than just Mike's wife. So when I go out and I put my stuff on, you can tell me I'm cute too. It don't mean I'm about to take my ring off. So the whole acting
I know that's right.
according to your relationship status, I also don't go in acting like I'm better or more together because I have a ring. So I go out with my friends and I help them feel social. I help them feel beautiful. I'm complimenting all the outfits. If a guy likes me and wants to buy me a drink, me and him.
Exactly.
Because we're all partying.
Why am I listening to myself? I'm that same person with the group when I go out with the group.
You looking, I'm not. So you might be hosting them. I can host them because I'm not looking for a man. I can wing them.
No, if I'm in Detroit, we're gonna be clear. Y'all already know I do import exports. I will host all day where I live. I don't date where I live. So I'm hosting.
Got it.
And so Holly, what's up with you? What's the word on the street? What you got?
I mean, my one night stand days are over. I'm not really out here like beating the streets for that. So the fact that I would put somebody in a position where we would take it a step further than, going out on a couple of dates, like I already know you're sticking around. So it's not like I'm fearing rejection if we sleep together, because we've already had the conversation where I've seen your paperwork, you've seen my paperwork, and this is where we just kind of hanging out for a minute. So I don't have an answer for that one, because I don't.
And you know what? The mere fact that you said you didn't is a good thing. So I'm going to tell you, so Dr. Campbell from Real Talk with the Men, he said, what if he doesn't come talk to you? Would you go over to him?
Great question.
Absolutely. Would you go over if a guy is checking you out and he doesn't come and talk to you? Angel said she ain't going over though, but Angel, would you go over?
Honestly, no.
Why? Why wouldn't you go over?
I wouldn't. I never have. I feel like if I'm giving the signals, he'll just come up to me eventually.
And if he doesn't, does that mean he don't want you?
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the day, Rhumel, how did it go down? Who approached you? Because I'm asking you and Dr. Mack, what's up? Who approached you?
I approached my husband. I asked him to the movies. And he said yes. And he was somebody I was interested in, and so I pursued him. And he was okay with it.
I love it. Dr. Mack?
He's gonna tell this story differently. I met Mike. I had a boyfriend, and we were just organically attracted to one another, and it was a flow that wasn't his approach or my approach. When it came to who asked for there to be a relationship, that was him, because I believe women control sex, men control the relationship status. So I understood that I had to wait for the question and wait for the next question and so on and so forth. But I do know women who are in very, very, very happy relationships because they, listen to this, humbled themselves and saw something that they liked and said, just as sweet, a beautiful wedding with the said, I like you. And he,
Wow.
what? Another one? One of my brothers said a woman came up to me and said, "You're beautiful." And he said,
You said that to him?
No, I didn't. I said, my brother said a woman told him
Oh.
he was beautiful. And he was like, wow, you're beautiful too. Ding, ding, ding. They went out that day. So I think sometimes the older we get, or if you see something and you understand energy, you can miss it being concerned with how things look. Am I going to go first and blah, blah, blah. When it's just as simple as I like everything. That's all I have to say. It doesn't have to be scripted, and you never know what type of connection you might be missing out of because you want to play double dutch and wink and bend and snap. And he's, you don't know. He could be getting a text from his mother and going through all kinds of stuff. And if he would have looked up and been in the space, he probably would have approached you. But your comment might have pulled him out of whatever he's going through. Right. And just because you were different, boom.
Okay, so Holly, what about you?
Can I ask Angel a question? Because I'm really interested in this not approaching men thing. So do you think it's not ladylike to approach a man?
I wouldn't say that. I would say, just, I'm speaking for me personally. I could see myself maybe approaching a guy in the future, but just looking at my history, and if I was out right now, I probably wouldn't. Even if a guy was sending me the signals. I just feel like.
And I mean, at her age, in the 20s, I didn't approach guys either. Like I didn't. I mean, I'm a wild stallion now, but I'm in my 50s, so we can't account for my actions right now. Okay. I just do whatever.
Wild stallion.
I'm a wild stallion, honey.
Come on, Big Meg, Big C.
Exactly. That's just a wild stallion.
Okay.
And I kind of just live by the beat of my drum. Holly, just like you. So Holly, you be doing your thing. Like you don't even need whatever.
I really do. But I've learned to be in this space. So I too probably in my 20s would not have approached a man because I felt like it wasn't a feminine action. Like I felt like it was a man's responsibility to do that. I feel very differently about it now, of course, but I do feel like maybe in my 20s I was so headstrong on like, this is what he should be doing and this is what I should be doing. And I think now that I've experienced so many relationships and I've been out, I don't want to say running the streets because that sounds terrible, but I've been in these streets. I'm in a very different place with it. Like if I see you and you cute and you smile and I smile back, I might walk over and be like, hi.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're saying that, Holly and Christine. I'm really glad that we have different generations on the call.
Yeah.
Because I think that the younger generation, they have a louder, more succinct voice, and they're able to speak for themselves and say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Yeah. And sometimes older women, because I take us back to our own judgment, make you feel aggressive just for asserting yourself. And then you become this woman who feels like, I have to be a bit more quiet because that's ladylike. So I'm glad that Holly connected that to a gender role that's sometimes projected upon us when we're the more aggressive. Maybe you're the more aggressive spirit in your family. Maybe you run everything on your team and that's just who you are. But Christine, I don't want to let our time run out without talking about body language, because the reason why I felt passionate about this particular topic is because we still live in a world where consent can snatch the life, career, status from anybody that is accused of not receiving consent. So the days of reading body language, the days of him just knowing that he can lean in for a kiss, over. You have to have a voice and say, I know we've been hanging all night. I've been tapping your shoulder. I got my dress on. I got my boobs out. I done had a couple drinks. Hey, I'm leaning in. And then you go to kiss me. Wait, a kiss. We have to.
You have to learn how to manage that.
You have to say, wait, or you have to say, you can kiss me.
And that's exactly what we're going to cover in our last segment.
And be clear.
That's what we're going to cover in detail in our last segment, which is the do's and the don'ts of your body language versus the intent, right? So you got to be very clear on that, because I think I have a lot of
Holly drinking. What we do?
I have a lot of
I got
mixed
the
feelings.
big glass.
All right, so
I got
real
the big
quick,
glass.
Gertrude said, Dr. Mac, LOL, while you were talking. When you were saying he would tell something different, when you say Mike would say something different, but this is what I'm saying. Okay, she's a LOL. And then Dr. Campbell said, let me put on my glasses. Y'all know I didn't took my glasses off. I can't imagine how many opportunities we miss because of fear of rejection. Here's a wonderful advice. If you like him and you are with your girls, please stop always so he can make a move.
Step away.
He means step away.
Step away from your girls. Don't have him
because
come to your
man,
table.
because he's not going to approach you when you're with the homies.
No.
He's
It's
not.
too many people, because if you reject him, now he's going to get rejected in front of the whole table. That's why it goes on the solo. I just want to keep it real. Dr. Campbell also said groups can be very intimidating for men, which is what we just said. You can't do that. And Gertrude said, I understand, Angel, about you not approaching, you waiting for the man to come to you. I'm going to tell you, I used to be, and people always laugh at me now, but I used to be a big time nerd and didn't talk to anybody. I used to be that person. But then, a woman told me, you know what she said to me? If you don't open your mouth, you'll never get what you want. I was like, oh, wait a minute now. So then I had to start really just kind of saying what I had to say and be ready for like the rejection or the person saying, well, you're not really what I like, but hey, you know what I mean? And so, and the other thing is, before we get to the last segment, talking about, your body language, saying one thing and you saying another, ladies, when you go out with an open mind. We set a checklist as we walking out the door, and we've envisioned what Rico Suave is going to look like, smell like, all of that, what he going to say. You didn't practice your response, don't do that. Just be open, because you never know, like Dr. Max said, you're going to miss. And here we got Dr. Campbell, and he's telling you all, when you go out in packs, that's the reason why nobody's approaching. Because nobody wants to be tore down in a pack. When you see Rhumel and her girls out, just know, one, they all married. But if there's one single one in the group, Rhumel, y'all push her out, because he's not coming over to talk to y'all. Okay? Push her out.
Go to the bathroom by yourself.
Exactly. Go to the bathroom. Now, Dr. Mack is over at the bar like, look, there's 4 single ladies at the table. Okay? What's up? See, they got a whole, she operating traffic. Everybody don't have a traffic operator. Okay.
I want all my friends to get the love I got. So I'm out here hustling with them.
You know what, Gertrude? Gertrude wrote a whole nother thesis on that. Gertrude, what you done said? Gertrude said, no, I was afraid to approach a man after something very horrible happened to me. So I am cautious. And you know what? We're going to talk about that too, because there is a way that you need to manage things. She said, but I'm learning, ladies. And Gertrude, let me tell you something. I'm sorry that something horrible happened to you.
I'm sorry.
Because folks, that's what we're going to talk about in this last segment. A lot of times it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. But the thing is that people will interpret. And we'll take Christine's molestation moment as an interpretation. I interpreted that man wearing that tight shirt on that muscular body, so he wanted somebody to fill him up. So I went and felt him up, right? But honestly, that was an invasion of his space. I just assumed, based on my interpretation of the situation, that that's what he wanted. Now, mind you, he got a kick out of it. He thought I was a hoot. But I'm sure if another woman did it a different way, he would have been offended, right? I just told him, I'm about to fill you up. So we're clear. You got your little tight shirt on. The muscles is permeating. But listen, I am going to get you a drink when I finish filling you up. Are we good?
Could he do this when you got your cleavage out? Could he do a pop, pop, pop to the top of your titties? How you
do? Okay, so we're clear, Dr. Mack. You ain't seen me in the street. The girls was out.
So you're okay. Let's talk about the law of averages, honey. Because you can't walk up rubbing on nobody man if he can't rub on you.
So I want to
be in there with all brothers and say, well, I guess you can grab a titty because she just walked up and rubbed you because you got on
right.
So I want to be clear, everybody. Don't do Christine, because Christine got her own way. Don't do it. Don't be watching us talk about
Christine.
Don't do Christine way, because I just asked up. Okay, I told the guy his jeans was tight. What is happening? I asked him, I said, what is
Ma'am.
happening? I said, all your business is in the street. Do you have business cards that you handing out? That man laughed so bad, he almost fell out. All his friends fell out. And he said,
Girl,
what are you
I
saying?
hope his girl wasn't there. I'd have popped you in the mouth.
You advertising. No, just be a group of guys together.
I'm gonna need you to protect your assets in case you get sued for sexual harassment. Okay.
Or protect your face in case the wrong girl is around when you cracking them jokes.
I'm going to tell you, the thing is, folks, one, you got to know how to read the room. I don't just walk into a place and just start talking to people. I sit back and observe. And if I see you with your boys and you just sitting over there, just whatever, y'all chit-chat, my thing is his jeans were so tight. Magic Mike, he should have auditioned for Magic Mike. I was like, what is happening? So I went over there to him. Do you have a business card? They was like, what is happening? I said, because your jeans are so tight, what are you advertising over there? Magic Mike. He could have won too on Magic Mike. I just want to be clear. Okay, Dr. Neville's cracking up laughing. She said, tonight, I've had a good laugh, lady. She said, thank you. So folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break because to Dr. Mack's point, we got to get down to the whole purpose of this conversation. And if we run over, y'all just stay with us. We're going to do just a real quick commercial break. This is how quick it's going to be. Boom.
I'm going out my mind. Give me some directions to get to you. To get to you, ain't gonna waste my time. I know that we got connection. I think about you. You're on my mind. On my mind. On my mind. Yeah, I'm going out of my mind. Out of my mind. Out of my mind. Yeah.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Real Talk with the Ladies. I promised you a quick commercial, and that was quick. So, ladies, before we get started on this, I want to say here's my disclaimer. Christine is a different kind of person. I have a lot of my sense of humor is just broad, right? And I have this facial expression. First of all, I'm little. People just think she's little or whatever. They don't pay any attention to me. But I have a sense of humor. So I'm not saying don't do anything that I do. Do what fits your personality and who you are when you meet people. But now we're going to have a serious conversation as we close out. And Dr. Mack hit it.
I really want us to be protective of where the world has taken us as it relates to consent. And I know that it feels really good to share energy with someone and want them to just feel you so they know that they can grab, feel you so they know that they can touch, feel you so they know that they can undo that bra. I need you to be serious about your voice in that moment. Because being someone who has worked with women who have been abused, I'm aware of the trauma connected to it. I'm also aware of the trauma connected to men that are accused or persecuted that truly feel like they were not communicated with, or truly feel like that they were cleared for, takeoff. And in every moment, I want women to be empowered and encouraged to say, yes, I want this. I want to kiss you. Yes, you can have sex with me. You can't wait for innuendo, because if there's a mistake, his world is over. We're not in a world where you have to have facts. We don't live in a world where you have to win a case. All you have to do is accuse them, and they lose their families, their careers, their reputations. And even if you're lying, it is almost impossible for them to get it back. So when you wear your dress and you have your things on, like Christine said, you already know, I know, we know the attention that we're going to get when we put it on. That does not mean you should be abused. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if all night we talking, we drinking, we dancing, do not lie about the energy that you're giving off, and that your body language seems consensual for him to take it to the next step. I want women to take more responsibility for consent. How do we feel about that?
All right,
That's
Rhumel, what's your thoughts?
I agree. It's just it's a really complicated thing. It's not like it's not like sitting on a teeter-totter, right? It's sometimes it's more one way and sometimes it's more another, and it's so hard to pinpoint, I think, who is putting out and who is receiving that information. So it's so tricky. I understand what you're saying, Dr. Mack, but I feel a little conflicted, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure where I fall with it. Like it feels almost like we're trying to make women responsible for men's reactions for the way that we are. If we're being authentic.
Yeah. I think I'm
You
asking us
understand what I
not to
mean?
be silent about anything anymore
Yeah.
and just be a bit more vocal. We can't prevent pedophilia. We can't prevent predators. We can't prevent rape. That is our
Right.
reality as women.
Right.
But what you can do, your best to do, is use your voice. And when you feel the energy or you feel that, ooh, maybe all the laughter and all of the stuff, he must think I like him. I think we know that. And I think that sometimes we want to be nice. Sometimes we want to be ladylike. Sometimes we don't want to be mean because we've been hanging all night. They done spent $150. Whatever it is that you tell yourself in that moment, I think you should say, hey, I appreciate the night, but I hope you know this isn't going anywhere. And sometimes just that simple, you may get an attitude. He may react really upset because everything he might have been doing that night was to lead to something. And I don't want anybody to be taken advantage of, but if that is a man that you would like, you would date later, I think in that moment, if you know the energy might have been giving off something consensual, just say something.
Okay. Angel?
I agree that it is tricky. Because it's true that at any point, even if you are giving off signals, you can say no at any point during or before. But I agree that women do need to be a little bit more vocal before it gets to that point. But I know there are some women who don't know how to express themselves in the heat of the moment. Like they don't know how to say no, stop. And that's something that women do get judged for sometimes after they're abused or taken advantage of. And people are like, why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you tell them to stop? And they're like, I thought by me being quiet and silent and like that was an answer in and of itself. So it's a tricky.
It is. And I'm glad you said that, Angel, before we go to Holly. When we think about our money, when we think about people giving us the correct change back, I have seen women go off at Target about $7. You done swiped this twice. I'm serious about my money, and they're so vocal. They're going to call corporate. They're doing a Yelp review. I want that same seriousness about money, property, our kids to be applied to our bodies. I want us to be just as, and I know that it takes training, which is the only reason why I have a job. And gaining your voice and getting your voice is how you save your life sometimes. So I use the money example because I want us to be as empowered as we possibly can be to attempt to remove ourselves from as many situations as we can remove ourselves from and avoid things that we truly aren't ready to experience. Because it may just not be his day that day. You might be in the process of saying yes. And you can say that, I like you, but tonight ain't the night. Use sarcasm, use jokes, use whatever you can use to get it out that back up off of me.
Okay, Holly?
Holly, what you think?
I can understand both Angel and Rhumel saying this is a tricky subject because I think the responsibility lies on both people. I don't think because I showed up in a dress and ass popping, titties popping, you should just assume that this was something you was going to get.
No, we giving body language, not assumption.
Oh, I
Holly.
know, I
How about
know.
you?
So I think in that instance, like approaching me, it needs to be a conversation that's a two-way street. If you think you want to kiss me and you're not really sure if I want to be kissed, ask me. That's not hard. Like, you got a mouth, I got a mouth. We're both responsible adults in a position where we're getting ready to do something very adult. So we have a responsibility to each other to engage in that conversation.
What if you give him? What if he
That's
says,
not an
"Can I
answer.
kiss you?" And
That's
you,
not an answer.
that's my point, though, Holly.
That's not an answer.
You have a voice, Holly. You're speaking from a very privileged place of being able to articulate. Christine got the jokes and sarcasm, so she's going to be able to navigate that. You have a presence, but sometimes, can I have a kiss? If he thinks giggling means yes, and you giggle when you're nervous and scared.
Well, why would you interpret a giggle as yes? Because it's not a yes.
Why would you interpret it as a no? If some people receive a smile,
it's not an answer.
Okay.
A giggle is not an answer.
But did you answer? Did you say
it's
no?
It's not an answer. It's a non-answer.
So whose fault? So where do we navigate that is the question. Is it on the man? He said, "Can I have a kiss?" So he asked the question. You laugh. I want us to say, no, not today. Yeah, and I know that it may be simple to you and I.
If I go to the bank and I ask for a loan and the person across the desk laughs at me, is that a yes?
That's not an answer.
Exactly.
You could be judging. No, what I'm saying is it's not an answer. It's not a yes or a no, which is why I feel that if we could move the needle towards not using innuendo and using actual words, it could help prevent a situation.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but it also has to be said that innuendo should not be interpreted as words.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that leads right into my closing. I just want to be clear, everybody, as we close out this segment. One, this was like, I think, a much needed conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's based on perception. And I think about the perception is based on your experiences, right? So every time we walk out that door, we look at the lens of life through our experience, and it becomes our perception. So the example is, to Holly's point, just because breast and ass is permeating, is glowing, it's got a glow to it, don't mean that Holly is saying, come touch my ass, come touch my breast, that you getting this candy tonight. That don't mean none of that. That just means I feel confident enough to wear my clothes that's popping and locking, as Dr. Max said in the beginning, that's hitting all them spots. That's all that's saying. So men, it's a perception, right? But also understand this too. I know what the men are thinking. Well, some women do laugh, some women do giggle, and that's the indication that, yeah, I can go ahead. Let's be clear. Everybody's giggle is not a yes, and everybody's yes is not a giggle. Okay? So before you move, like they say, before you bust that move, you might want to get clarity before you bust the move. Okay?
And give them clarity. Give them clarity.
And here's the clarity. Christine, I would like to enter your vagina.
And Christine will say, no, vagina's closed.
I'm going to say, I'm sorry, this vagina is not open tonight.
Okay.
Again. You didn't get it. I'm sorry. I just want to be, so look, I know y'all like, okay, I do take a comedic approach to things.
I love it.
Often. But I will say this. The reason why I stopped talking for a very, very long time is because of a situation very similar to this. A young man asked me a question in high school, and I answered the question the wrong way, and he was driving. I did not understand that he had gone through forms of rejection. He had low self-esteem. I didn't know any of this. He was my high school science teacher's son. He ran the car into the expressway wall. And I ended up having to relearn how to walk. And this was while I was in high school. I stopped talking to men because I was so afraid that if I ever said the wrong thing, that somebody would hurt me. So I want to be clear, ladies. I understand if you're apprehensive about responding to people in certain situations. And what Dr. Mack is saying, you still have control Put yourself in a safe space before you get to their house. Before you get to that car and he's like, let's do it in the back seat, which by the way, I've never done it in the back seat. I was using this as an example. Okay. Okay, well, I haven't. I'm waiting till I get married. I'm trying to save some stuff for the marriage table. Okay. Some surprises. At 50, I'm gonna be like, put the Bengay on and let's do this. But the thing is, right, that Bengay, want to put the Bengay on. But the thing is, folks, before all of that happens, as you're walking out of that restaurant, as you're walking out of that club, as you're leaving the library, whatever you're doing, the brunch, this could be daytime love. I don't know what's happening. Just simply say, you know what? I'm feeling you, but I'm not ready to go to that next level. That's all you got to say. Don't wait till you all up at his house. He putting the key in the door. He putting on Luther Vandross. And you thinking what? We just going there for coffee? You a damn lie. You knew what he was going to the house for. That's all I got to say, right? Look, Dr. Mac, the minute he said, let's go to my house for drinks, everybody know what that means. Don't go to that man's house for drinks if that ain't what you're trying to do.
But sometimes it gets all the way there, you know that. But if they're going to protecting my brother, protecting my dad, protecting our sons,
right?
We would hate for something to happen to one of them, and we know their heart. And we will say quickly, as a mother, sister, aunt, that girl went all the way to your house.
What's she doing at your house?
And as a mother, we would say, well, why didn't she just tell you she didn't want to go?
Exactly.
But according to the court, your son is going down.
And see, Dr. Mack, what you just said. Ladies, if you enter every situation like it's your father, your brother, your son, your nephew, when you're talking to these people, they one of the four. Just know, just be responsible for your own actions. And again, I don't answer questions in cars anymore when they are in motion. I've learned my lesson with that. I just don't answer. I wait till we get there, then I'm gonna answer your question. So all I'm saying, if it's not the best opportunity, you riding with him, don't answer that question. And like Dr. Max said, even if you have to say, you know what, I can't go to your place today because I promised so-and-so that I was going to do something, make up something to get, because some men are so headstrong that they're not listening to you. I don't want y'all to think we being unrealistic and everybody is regular people. Understand this. Just make up some. I got to go see Rhumel. I told her I was going to go babysit her kids today. Her and her husband waiting on me right now. I told them I was going out on the date, and I got to stay overnight at their house because they got to leave for the airport first thing in the morning. You better say something.
I'm glad you gave the audience permission to do that, because I'm not telling you to look for an authentic place and beyond to fix your life. I'm saying get out of the situation.
Get out.
Get out of the situation.
Yeah.
If you know that it could possibly go there.
And the other thing is, I Meet No One But Me, which is Reda McDowell's show he did when we were in season 2. I'm going to play that again. Folks, when you go out, you're meeting no one but you. It's a version of you that you keep running into. So if this person is not hearing you or they're not being receptive to it's a part of you that you're dating. So I'm going to replay that. And I keep saying that. I already told Galen I was going to do that because I think we need to understand that. And the other thing is, date yourself. Find out what you're doing and not. How can I say this? I do my own focus group on my dating techniques. You know what I do? And I'm not saying everybody should do this. I just walk into a space all by myself and say, look, this is what I need from you right now. You by yourself? Because I need to talk to you about something. And they go, yeah. I said, listen, we about to date me for 2 hours. I need you to tell me what I'm not doing. Okay? And guess what the feedback is a lot of times? A lot of times men feel like because I'm so friendly that I'm not the norm. They don't know how to take me. I get that a lot. They say, well, I don't even know how to take you. But guess what? It's good to know what a stranger thinks about you. So try that sometimes. Go into a Starbucks, somebody drinking coffee and say, hey, can I date you for about an hour? What you doing? And they're going to be like, what you mean? I just need a little focus group right quick. So we're going to talk through and then run your little lines or whatever you think. Like Angel, practice your little approach on somebody and see how it's going down. Be like, now, if I said this to you, is this going to work? Right?
Right.
Because what happens is that because we're practicing on our girlfriends, like I'm calling Holly, I'll be like, Holly, girl, this is what I'm going to say. Holly be like, girl, you better go on and get it, girl. You better do it. Then we get to the street and it don't play out right. Like this. So what I'm saying is know your audience. If your audience is men, it's good to talk Angel to like a Dr. Mac, a Rhumel, and a Holly. It really is. You know why? Because Rhumel is married. She's been married since college. Dr. Mac has been married since college, right? It's good to talk to a Holly and Christine because we still out here and we fabulous, right? But let me tell you something. The conversation you have with me and Holly is going to be a different conversation you have with Rhumel and Dr. Mac. You get what I'm saying? So you're in a good position to have these real conversations with ladies who all collectively around the same age, but we're going to talk to you from different strategies. Because let me tell you something, the worst thing to do right now is to hit the streets and not even know who your audience is. And that's a whole different conversation. You think you're going for one audience and it's another. We are going to have a conversation, Dr. Mac, about when you do meet this person, how many questions should you ask, since everybody is fluid, everybody is testing different stuff. And because if you don't want to be with somebody that's fluid, that's another conversation about that body language. I want to be clear, because some people be want to ask you if you can just join the group. You be like, what's a group? You be thinking join a group for a conversation. No, they mean join the group. So you know what I'm saying? You got to know the new lingo. We need, Dr. Mac, we need to have a show on what's the new lingo on the street out here in single world.
It's like a spelling test on Friday. When
That's
I work
what
with
I'm
parents, it's like, what is binary? And then we
okay, so Rhumel, Angel, and Holly and Dr. Mac, we don't do our homework because we don't have the new lingo in the dating world. Because no, this is for real talk, by the way. I just found out, I didn't forget what it was, but I found out something. I said, damn, Navis, when somebody says that, that's what that means. I didn't know that. So y'all got to be ready. Who is Mr. Major?
That's my friend.
Well said, Dr. Mac. Also, Gertrude said, thank you for the information, Dr. Mac. That's how I'm thinking now. Being vocal and reserved, I do not overdrink neither. Just a little fun and then leave. Honey, you better go ahead, Gertrude. Gertrude said, honey, thank you for tonight, ladies. Thank you. All right, folks, as always, Real Talk with the Ladies. We stack them up and knock them down. If you're thinking about your body language, and if you dress to impress, be ready to say yes or say no. But it's all up to you, like Dr. Mac said. I just want to say, I'm going to give me a shirt that's either when I push the button, it's going to say yes, take me, or no, step away. I'm a trademark shirt.
Like you at the meat place, green light, red light.
Yes. All I gotta say is, Dr. Campbell from Real Talk with the Men, he said, great live. Thanks, Dr. Campbell, for watching. And as always, folks, thank you for watching Real Talk with the Ladies. We'll see you guys next week, and we got another hot conversation. All I gotta say is we're trying to keep it real and keep it right for the ladies. See you guys next week.